Jay Will, you had a little different sort of reaction.
I did. Let me clarify. First off, this is not about the Kyrie Irving statements. This is about his initial statement about what he said about Adam Silver and the stupidest things he's ever seen. I fervently disagree. And there are times that Charles Barkley can say things on TV and he's Teflon Don. I get it. Doesn't matter what he says, but he is wrong on that one. Adam Silver was talking about anxiety and depression. And you just don't, I feel like it's an older generation thing where they equate happiness to the amount of money that you make. Look, people all have internal struggles. And what happens with that is when he says things like that, that automatically challenges people opening up to talk about some of the things that is driving them to whatever those issues are in their life. And that forces people to shut down. So instead of just attacking people by saying, hey, you have no problems in the world, you don't walk in their shoes. You may have made money, you may have been a superstar, but you don't walk in the shoes of those individuals. You weren't raised in the age of social media. You don't know how that can affect you and how you're raised with that. So show empathy towards that, and let's help these people that are openly saying, I have issues, instead of attacking them. I get pissed off about that, because I went through something drastic in my life, and I deal with it all the time. And those kind of people that say things like that, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're just talking.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
There's two different arguments there.
Yes, I saw some of that reaction, and it feels to me like we're really having two different conversations. There is a conversation to be had about people who suffer from legitimate things like depression. I've mentioned many times I do. I was 30 years now I've been dealing with that. That's one thing. Talking about people generally being kind of cranky and whatnot is an entirely different conversation. That was the conversation I thought that we were having yesterday. And, Adam Silver, I don't know exactly what the context of it was. What did you make of it all?
Well, Silver's great. I mean, Silver, it's hard to have the approval rating as a commissioner that Silver has. So I think part of this is him always being sympathetic, always willing to listen. So I don't have a counter to anything that you said. But if we do talk about just the superstars in this league, it is a developing thing here where I don't know if it's about stuff that's going on in their personal lives, because I don't know these guys, and I've never want to assume anything, especially on a TV show. But if you're talking about just basketball, this is different now. Like, some of the top players in this league are constantly miserable about their plot with their team, and I don't understand if it's just everybody expects to win, everybody feels greater pressure. Hey, I want to be the alpha, but I don't want to be by myself. Oh, wait a minute, now I'm the alpha, and now I can't beat anybody, so now I got to bounce from here. This is a new thing. And to talking about it, I just wonder what the tipping point is for if you're a fan of a team and you go, oh, great, my favorite player is mad, and now he wants to leave now, because that's what's happened the last few years.
The new era has created this, and I totally agree with what you're saying, Jay Will, but when you think about general public, when you think about media and us sitting on this show and people having conversations in the outside world, they are strictly talking about basketball. And when they see Kyrie Irving or when they see LeBron James or Kevin Durant get in front of a press conference or news media and talk about how much they hate the media, they don't equate that to internal issues. They equate that to a disgruntled player. We all been there. We've been there. Even in college, when I was playing in the pros, we had guys in the locker room that didn't want to talk. Marshawn Lynch never wanted to talk to the media. People didn't internalize it.
Was he unhappy, though, or was he just...
That's my thing. People equated that to Marshawn Lynch being mad at the media. That is what we're going to do until you feel comfortable enough. And I'm not saying it's these guys' responsibility to tell us what's going on in their personal lives. But if you're not transparent to that, and we see you all the time in a basketball setting versus the media, that's the conversation that we're going to have. And I think that's what Charles Barkley was getting at, more so than talking about the internal things that guys deal with, because that's a real thing, and that's a different conversation.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of things to unpack, and I'm with you, Jay, on the anxiety and depression. We're not going to dismiss that in anyone's life in any way, shape, or form. With that being said, there's a couple of different types of media that I think get overlapped in this same conversation. There's social media that you can block out, okay? These players aren't talking about social media, okay? They're talking about the sports media. And the only time they have to deal with the sports media is before practice or after practice, before a game or after a game. It's not like the paparazzi, like TMZ, is looking for the aha got you moments when these guys are at those pressers.
Jay Rose.
And we all, one other thing.
I got you.
We all have strengths and weaknesses, and we all know from where the media is going to ask us about. Just like if you're about to if Kevin Hart gets into an argument with somebody, he already know a short joke is coming. So he's ready for that. When you go in front of the media, you already know what they're going to ask you. You should be ready for that. Or you got the kind of means to actually pay for media training. Or you can say no comment if you choose to. That's different to me from actually just being unhappy.
I hear 100% what you're saying, but you're talking to me from J. Rose now, the guy who's been through the gauntlet before. I remember when you got traded from Indy to Chicago. Like, I was a rookie. Like, that was a different situation for you because of what happened with Isaiah Thomas. That was a younger Jalen Rose. Did you handle that exactly the way you would have handled that now, Jay?
That year, I won Magic Johnson Leadership Media Award for the NBA. That year.
Okay.